Aaron Navarro, CBS News. Whip Scalise said today he got vaccinated, citing this Delta variant that's going around, and said he's confident that it's safe and effective. Two questions. Have you yourself gotten vaccinated, and do you disagree with the Republican whip?
Well, your first question is a violation of my HIPAA rights. You see, with HIPAA rights, we don't have to reveal our medical records, and that also involves our vaccine records.
Do you feel any responsibility for keeping people in Georgia safe? You know, there are children, skinny people who have died of the coronavirus. Do you feel any responsibility?
Tia, you crack me up. You know what? I think people's responsibility is their own.
Do you think that you should resign for misleading people about
Identify yourself after the question.
Jackie Alamany from the Washington Post.
Okay, no, I think that's absurd. I have not misled anyone. I've not put out misinformation. So no, that I would not even consider it.
Dear God, where do we even begin? Probably with the part where a reporter, Tia Mitchell, asked Marjorie Taylor Greene if she feels any responsibility for downplaying the impacts of COVID on young people and those who aren't obese, who have died, and then this Republican congresswoman cracking up uncontrollably and dismissively saying that people are responsible for themselves. I'm not exactly sure you could find a more psychotic, deranged, depraved answer than this one. But hey, pro-life party, am I right? I'm honestly not sure how to convey the sociopathy of what just happened here. A reporter confronted her about people dying, and Marjorie Taylor Greene laughed. What's even worse, and yes, I know that's a tall order, is the fact that only days earlier, on Friday, a 5-year-old child died of COVID in her own district. And yet when asked whether she feels responsibility for downplaying the effects of COVID on young people, she cackled before effectively suggesting that it's not her problem. Republicans may try to pretend otherwise, but this is the face of the GOP. This, of course, came in the aftermath of Twitter suspending Marjorie Taylor Greene's account for 12 hours for posting what else but misinformation about COVID, like suggesting that COVID was not dangerous for people unless they were obese or over the age of 65, and saying that vaccines should not be required. And of course, right on cue, Greene responded with the usual victimhood and self-aggrievement, whining that her freedom of speech is being stripped by big tech. Funny how conservatives love private enterprise and the free market until the moment they have to abide by the rules set forth by it. And by the way, that misinformation being spread by Marjorie Taylor Greene is the reason that COVID won't go away. Let's just be honest here, Republicans like her love to virtue signal about how against the virus they are, and yet everything they do only entrenches its existence. Pushing back against mask mandates lets the virus spread. Not getting vaccinated lets the virus spread. Ignoring stay-at-home orders and attending rallies and refusing to abide by social distancing lets the virus spread. You're not being a maverick by ignoring science, you're being an idiot, and you're ensuring that the thing you pretend to hate so much just sticks around that much longer. Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't helping anyone, she's ensuring that people die. Which brings me to the second comment she made when asked by a reporter if she's been vaccinated. And instead of answering, she just claimed that being asked her vaccination status is a HIPAA violation. First of all, if you are a person who traffics almost exclusively in anti-vax conspiracies, and you're asked if you're vaccinated yourself and you can't simply say no, then it becomes pretty clear what the answer is. And I'm not saying definitively whether Marjorie Taylor Greene's been vaccinated or not, but I am saying that if she wasn't, you would think she would just say it. Second of all, dear God, a journalist asking whether she's been vaccinated is not a HIPAA violation. That is not how HIPAA violations work. If the journalist asked her doctor, that would be one thing, but asking someone whether they've been vaccinated isn't a violation, it is a simple question, which Marjorie Taylor Greene can choose to answer or not. And that question can be asked thanks to the thing that Marjorie Taylor Greene loves to spend so much time shrieking about, freedom of speech. Although, I guess freedom of speech is only okay when it's convenient for Republicans. The simple fact is that Marjorie Taylor Greene has no clue what she's talking about. She's about as much of an authority on COVID and vaccines as she is on HIPAA violations, which is to say, an absolute fool. And yet this is par for the course when it comes to how the GOP has dealt with this virus every step of the way. Every single day it's been deference to talking points and political posturing and fear-mongering instead of what actually matters, science. And as this Delta variant continues to surge in the US, we'll see if Republicans feel like enough people have died, or if they'll continue promoting their stars like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who will only make the situation worse. If you enjoyed that video and you're looking for a deeper dive, check out my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. It's a no BS look at the top stories of the week, along with interviews with the top names in politics, like Vice President Kamala Harris, Jen Psaki, Elizabeth Warren, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Katie Porter, Pete Buttigieg, and more. Again, that's No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, available anywhere you listen to podcasts. Also, if you want to see more videos like this one, click the subscribe link right here on this screen to join the more than 1 million people who've already subscribed to my channel. And finally, to donate to my Don't Be a Mitch Fund, where I'm raising money for a whole raft of different voter outreach and voter registration groups in the closest states ahead of midterms in 2022, including Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, North Carolina, and Texas. You can find that link on this screen as well. Thanks for watching.